Hello, I'm Czardus. Grab some coffee, sit back, and chill as we build in Anno 117. I'm so excited to check this out. Ubisoft involved me in a preview event, and I got to record for about 3 hours. So I'm going to split it up into several different episodes that will be a preview of the build.
Bonam fortunam, Governor. Let's see if you're a spear to bend or to break. Getting this empire back on its feet won't be easy. The Legion has a saying: if your attack is going well, you're walking into an ambush.
So this is recorded footage, and it is, I'm giving the commentary a little bit later, so it might not quite match what I remember, or like I might not quite remember what's happening.
Is vital to the continued growth of our city. We should station the woodcutter in a forest near our trading post.
And I'm gonna try to let the little in-game commentary happen as well, just because I feel like that'll add a little bit. But what I wanted to do to get...
The sawmill should be situated between trading post and woodcutter.
And I promise it won't interrupt as much as it is right now. But what I wanted to do was try to get a city going as quickly as possible, because it was a limited time event, and that made me need to do it pretty quick. And so what we're doing here is we're getting the houses started, because the game plays a lot like any Anno, where it has, you know, you have the houses you need to build. I mean, any city builder really is like that. But the feel, you can tell by looking at this, that this is a lot like Anno 1800, which is my other experience in the Anno franchise. And so it was easy to jump in and be familiar with how a lot of it works. So now I'm looking really quick to see what different things we could do and to get stuff started, because I didn't have much guidance going in as to like what I needed to do and stuff like that. It wasn't the tutorial, it was just right into a game. And so now I'm checking out, I'm getting the boat and sending it out to explore, because that in any Anno is one of the first things you need to do. Then I'm coming over and looking at the resources. So we have different river slots in the game. And those are really interesting, because that is a little bit different from the previous Anno 1800. And then here you can see there's some ruins on the island that are kind of adding a little bit of flair to it as well. And then I noticed there's like a little dock there, but that was just a minor a decorative thing. So then I'm coming back over here and finding more river slots. And again, those are interesting to me because they're different from the way that 1800 works, where in that one, you can put stuff wherever you want along the river. But here, things have to be in some of those river slots, it would seem. So right now, I'm checking, and we are growing a little bit. I'm looking at the different types of population that we have and things like that. And so what I want to do is I want to get building a bit more. So right now I'm working on getting the food set up, and part of that was getting a little market there, I believe. And then this is more houses. We're going to get more of those. But then I think next is going to be getting fish, because I go and I look to see what the residents need. Although I'm also kind of following a little bit of that. Yeah, you can see we need fish and or specifically sardines. There's different types of fish. And sardines are one that we need. And then also porridge, which has its own industry chain. So we're going to get sardines first, because that one, all you have to do is go fishing, and then you can immediately sell them at your market. And it's interesting, you can change some of the settings with the roads. You saw that it was trying to curve it there instead of going and being a sharp turn, which is, I think, new to Anno. I don't think it does it in 1800. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but out here now I'm getting the oat field going so that we can get the porridge industry up and running. But I had a misclick and have to do it again. So we're coming in, and once again, we're getting the oat field in place. We're getting a little bit less than what we need for the whole thing to work right, but it should be enough there. And then we need a porridge kitchen, and I'm trying to decide at this point where to put it, because it needs to be close enough to the oat farm, and you can see I decided to get it over there by the houses. Now I'm exploring a little bit more as we're making our way around the world, trying to find the AI competitors and stuff like that. Again, a very important thing in Anno is to get to know your competitors right away and work on getting any trade going, because the number of resources on your individual island are limited, and if you want to reach
all day. Worry no more, old chum.
if you want to reach some of the higher
I did not think they would find me in among the weeds of my garden.
okay, so
Ithacus Tarragonus Taurus, at your service.
so we found somebody, and
You've met a
yep,
neighboring
we've
governor.
met a neighboring governor.
Part of being a good governor is learning how to deal with rivals.
And that's exactly what I was saying. We
I have a
are
little time before my nap at Merrily.
working on meeting the other people so that we can work on getting trade going. I immediately start to look into how we can trade, but we have to get a trade treaty, and I'm right now looking at the options for loans just to get a feel for them, and of course they come with interest, so I don't want to do that right now, but we might do it a little bit later. But what I do want to do is continue. Oh, we met another person. No, this is a little quest. So they came here and they want to get something, and so I choose to buy the supply of timber just to get a little bit of happiness from that.
Thanks for noticing me, Governor.
And then we have another mini thing here. So yep, we are
As ever, we shall obey.
going to work together, I guess. And then we have this
Salve, friend.
neighbor that
If that you be.
I need to decide how
start
I'm
well
going to
together.
respond.
I myself have few needs, but come to me for anything.
I take a pretty
A blade wiped clean.
kind approach. I don't want to go in and be all mean and try to take them over right away. I want to try to build up a rapport with them and try to trade and get the economy going before I get into any war. So now we come back over here and check on things. We have food going, and next is going to be the market. We need to grow a little bit more, so I think next I go and I decide to start building more houses. Oh no, we get a sawmill next, because we have a woodcutter. Oh right, so I built one sawmill, but I decided here it wasn't enough, so we're going to get another woodcutter.
You must be the governor. My name is Licia Ma. Licia means glowing clouds, like the ones you see in the desert at dawn. What is yours?
So we met another neighbor, and we're getting to know them now too.
Pleasure to meet you. I am Licia Ma, father's a silk merchant. You simply must join us for dinner sometime. Imagine the possibilities.
So, yeah, now I'm just checking it. Brought up a little tutorial there of what residents need and stuff like that. But I get back over here. I'm working on building that sawmill and another woodcutter out here to increase the production that we are getting of wood so that we can move a little bit faster and, continue to provide jobs, of course, too. Which, right now, looking at the screen, it looks like we have a surplus of the lower level workers, which is pretty much what we want to see all the time. You want to make sure you have a little bit of a surplus, because otherwise the negative effects are pretty strong. Now here I'm realizing that I am going to need another warehouse because we're too far from the port for the goods to get transported properly. So I'm putting one over here, and you can see that street is angled, which again is a little bit different than what I remember 1800 being, because now we have a broken grid there in the city, which is really cool to see.
Can't stuff all that down me folds.
So, of course, anytime you click on a building, you often get a worker responding to you and saying hello in some way. But now I can get the sawmill in because we have the warehouse closer. So I get that going right away. And then we're going to check to see what else we need. We're check on the ship, of course. This island must be empty because it didn't turn up anything. So we just queue up that boat to move a little bit more. So then we're going to come over here and see, again, market. We want to get that next, and that is unlocked now. So I guess the other thing was
Public
non-market.
services should be erected close to residences in order to meet people's needs.
You can see the area of effect of the market, and so I'm trying to make sure that it's in a spot that will probably have a lot of houses. And then we can get a tavern right away too. And the same thing, it has an area of effect that you want to make sure that you can have that cover a lot of the houses that you want to expand into. But I decide to get this road in place and then end up, I think, maybe in a little bit of a different spot. Maybe I just wanted to see where those grid roads would go, and it fits nice. Yeah, there we go.
That's the spirit.
So there,
Better you decide than I.
we get a gift here from one of the
Wise.
other neighbors,
Perhaps.
which is nice.
Only time will
And
tell.
then we have another little tutorial here of how to fulfill the needs and what happens when you do that, different needs that there are, and stuff like that. So next, I think we're going to start looking at maybe some services that the people need. That would be my guess, if I can remember how I played this through, just based on what we normally see in city builders. Right now I'm checking the trade, or the trading post to see what we've got, and then just checking out a few other UI elements. Can look at the trade routes and start to think about who I might want to trade with and what they have and stuff like that. Of course, again, we can't do the trade route yet. We have to get a trade pact first, and that happens a little bit later, so we haven't gotten as far as that yet. So then I continue just trying to get things set up a bit here and kind of get things to be efficiently moving, but also, you know, exploring the UI a tiny bit to see how things are set up and if anything is different from Anno 1800. And what I find is that it is, I think I already said this, but it is very, very similar to 1800. So it's really easy to pick it up, which I really appreciate. And so here I was already foreseeing that this island will be creating a lot of timber, and I want to be able to sell that. So even though we don't have trade routes set up, ships will come and they will start to try to buy stuff. Although maybe I need to set up in a little bit. I think I get a trade pact, and maybe that's what gets things going right away. I can't quite remember, but you can see me going in and seeing that, okay, well, these are the things I'm producing on the island, and I want to make sure that anything I'm producing, if I have a surplus, I'm going to offer it for sale to any ship that comes to the trading port. And that is what we end up doing with each part in here. And you can also see some of the different resources that are available in here.
If I had a tavern for my tombstone, I'd be the last.
And again, anytime you click on a house, you get the person who lives there talks to you, which is a common Anno trait as well. But then down here, I'm looking to see what else is unlocked now. So we've got turnips, and what is the other one? I guess I'm going right for turnips here. We're looking, I need hemp and spinners to be able to do that. But I think, oh no, we do have hemp on the island. So we're going to get that going right away and just get the field in place, and then right away get the road extended a bit there so that we can immediately start to build there. And then I decide to get an angled road out this way just to kind of like start building more of that city space and planning things out a little bit. So now I'm going to get the spinner, and that is going to turn things into the tunics. I believe it. Yeah, that should be the end of the tunic thing. So now for here, we have the sheep farm, and then where the sheepfold, I should say. And this one works similar to some of the livestock in 1800 as well. And then we have the felter, which is going to, of course, take that wool and felt it into felt and make it so that they can create clothing as well. Now out here I'm checking on the ship as well and giving it a new destination to continue exploring. And of course, again, it talks to you, which on one hand, the talking is a little annoying because it interrupts me right now as I'm trying to do commentary. But on the other hand, it, as a one-player game, it does kind of add a little bit of an element of connection to you, or like between you and your denizens in the game. So now, let's see, what do we do? I'm checking on the ship, and what should we do next? We found a new island, so I'm going to go look at it right away here. And it's a nice rocky island there, and looks like it is not used by anybody, which is good. There's several islands that we will be able to get to, or to settle on. And of course, that allows for further expansion into the world and trying to find those different resources on the different islands.
Kyrie, Governor. I run this island. Name's Dorian. I can't wait to join your routine. Well met. I am Dorian, of the Brothers of Heracles. I hope we will be friends, you and I. What doesn't raise a sweat doesn't get you ahead, man.
So I'm not sure why it's almost like the AI introduces themselves multiple times in a short period of time. And I feel like you really probably only need to be introduced to them once. But anyway, we're coming back over here, and the ship is kind of looking around still and finding more people. We have now, what, 3 competitors there? And, oh, I'm looking at a couple of different things. There's a belief system, because, of course, the Romans were very much into their Roman gods. And that will play a role in the game, which we will see later. Well, I don't remember if I build a temple or not, but that is something that is in the game. And then you can have, multiple speeds as usual there.
Ere, it is time we attracted a higher grade of resident in the plebeians.
All right, so I've got enough of the low-level worker class, and now we're going to get
I think, dear husband, we have found our
a
sacred
higher
center.
level of citizen as well, which of course is going to mean that they're going to need new resources and goods and stuff like that, but it also means we can build new things. So that is exciting, and I'm going in and checking out right away. We can do clay to create tiles. So right now I'm looking to see the clay needs to be on these river slots, and you can see it snapped right to that. The tiles can go elsewhere. We're going to get the road in place right away, and then I wanted to get the road first, of course, so that I could make sure that I get that tiler within range of the clay pit. We can get it. Let's see, where do I end up putting it? I think I end up getting another clay pit in there. And I did struggle a little bit with... I kept trying to right-click to get things to go away, and of course that opens up the shortcut menu. And which, it's nice to have the shortcut menu, but it also was a little bit confusing. But by putting the tiler here, I connect both of the clay pits, but it also means that I need another warehouse. So we go back 2 warehouses, and we get one kind of out, pretty far out that way. But that should be available for a lot of stuff back there. And of course, the warehouses will transport between
enough
each
of us.
other. And so you don't have to have them too close together or anything to really get them. But if they have to go too far, then of course you have a little bit of an inefficiency in time there as well.
I have a few new proposals to take to the Magister someday.
So now I'm just checking how long it takes things to get the clay and making sure that it balances with how long it takes to like create the tiles and stuff like that. And then coming back here and upgrading more houses and trying to maintain that positive number of workers in each class as well. And now I've unlocked more foods. Got bread and garum. So the bread, you do wheat and then I think you have to have a water mill, and we'll get that eventually. I'm just coming in here and making sure I've got all of these things set. But you saw me check the balance there for a little bit, and that was really because I'm a little bit nervous that we're continuing to be in the red, because I didn't want to go bankrupt when I only had so much time to play, but I also knew that, end of the world, it's not that bad if I go bankrupt, because I only have so long to play anyway, so...
It gives me peace of mind that my husband wears a warm hat.
And then I'm here checking again to see like a little bit of the happiness traits and stuff like that to see how people are doing. And here I see that negative plebeian workforce again, and start to think about, okay, well, what can I upgrade here? Of course, upgrading these creates a shortage in the other workers, so I have to go in and add more homes, and I'm just trying to find places where they could go, because they don't need as many amenities as the higher levels do, and so they can kind of be put a little bit off to the outside of the town. So that's what I end up doing here, getting a few over this way. Getting a nice little square. And now I think we're gonna probably speed up a little bit to get more people to move in, because it takes a little bit of time for those to fill in. And we want to make sure we get to that point. And we're also there. I'm going to, as we're getting that surplus in the workers, we're upgrading what we can. And of course, the higher level residences will pay a higher tax. So I'm hoping that by getting more of them, it will help balance things out a little bit better. But I'm really hoping to work on getting some trade going as soon as I can. Right now I'm pretty concerned about exploring the world a little bit, but you can see here I'm going in to see what the other people have and what I might be able to get through trade, and then trying to decide which person I should try to befriend first. And then I misclick, and here I come into diplomacy, and I've chosen Tarragon, and I'm trying to see, what do I need here to get these things? I don't have much progress there, and I'm looking to see the negative reasons. And I think eventually I get my ship and I start to work on quests. We'll see if yep, I'm doing that right here. Make my way over here to his island to try to figure out what quests he has available for us to work on. And then we continue coming in here to see them get filled up. and see if I have some that I can upgrade as well to get that balance in place a little bit more.
Helios, the cap that made me a free chap.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking to see how many people fit in each house and what I need to do to get that. So then I see that those ones, they are out of range of the market. So I add a couple more here that are a little bit closer to the market and will eventually be able to be upgraded because of their proximity there. Then I'm checking how much sawmill, or how much planks we're making as well. And then also deciding, okay, I'm going to move this over just a tiny bit so that I can get another row of houses in there. So there we go, we get that there. And then we can get these houses along here. Now we're getting a better mix of the workers in, or like getting a bit more, so we can start to come in here and upgrade a little bit more. And as soon as I get to that a surplus of the second level of workers, I will you know, get rid of that warning, but also then I believe be able to start adding more amenities for them and more goods. But I'm also checking over here to see why are my clay things not going fast enough. And the main thing is that I don't have a full workforce, and that is slowing things down. But you can see it is getting delivered very slowly. But, you know, the tiles aren't being produced because we don't have the workers yet. And so we're very close to getting that, getting to that point. There we are. Now we have a surplus, so we should have plenty of workers to get that clay thing going.
Must be kept
But
burning at all
then I
cost.
realize I need charcoal. So we don't have any charcoal currently. So then I look to see, oh, what do we need to do for that? A charcoal kiln. Okay, well, let's put that somewhere that we have wood. And then preferably it should be relatively close to that warehouse so that we can start working at it. And I see, like, right in that spot, it's a 100% usage there. And here I'm just testing out and getting that bridge in place because eventually we're going to need a bridge that way, and that seems like a good spot for it. And kind of that having a bridge there, we're planning for one, really impacts where we end up putting that charcoal. So now we're, you know, we've got a deficit in the workers again, and we have a low fire safety. So it's time to get a fire station. We go over here and figure out where that would be. And of course, it's under emergency services. We can get a fire safety thing there. I guess it's not really called a fire station, but that is what it is. And get that pretty much centrally located there for the bulk of the city. But moving it over here allows us to get a little bit more of the farms and stuff like that. And then we get more houses. Can always get more people, because more people means more people available to work and produce. And we come in here and start to upgrade a little bit more. And then we come back over here and check to see how the warehouse is doing, and check to see just how everything's going, and come down here to see where the ship is. And there it is. It is by, what was this guy's name? I can't remember, but oh, Tarragon. Yeah, so it's by him. And then I have a little bit of trouble remembering where I need to go for getting the quests. But I get that figured out.
Peace and protection is what these people crave.
So now we've got a contract. I don't remember what it was. I think it was deliver somebody or something like that. But yeah, so there we are, and we've got another person here.
Hear the voices of the
One of our own
rumbling.
things. He wants me to do something as well. So now we are
Oh, that's our
we are
governor,
picking up
folks.
quests, and I think that is probably a good place to leave it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to click on the video on the screen now. It should be the next one in the series if it is out. If not, then it'll be another great video. And thanks again to Ubisoft for including me on this event. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Take care.